You are dead asleep. It's 3 a.m., and suddenly you wake up to 10 pounds of cat standing directly on your throat. Most owners write this off as random feline weirdness, assuming their pet is wandering aimlessly or being intentionally annoying in the dark. The reality comes down to the mechanics of the nighttime bedroom. When the lights go out, your cat loses the visual cues they normally rely on. Because you are deeply asleep and entirely silent, from their perspective, you have essentially gone offline. Reacting the wrong way to these visits creates a massive problem. If you get up to feed them or play with them, you are successfully training them to repeat the behavior, hardwiring a nightmare routine into their brain. Interrupting this cycle requires accounting for the calculated biological agenda driving their nighttime movement. That agenda begins with a primal survival check. In the wild, sleeping next to a packmate that stops moving is a severe threat indicator. That wild instinct translates directly to your bed. A cat chooses to step specifically on your chest, your throat, or near your face because those are the exact spots where they can confirm the rise and fall of your breathing and catch the warmth of your breath. Once they know you're alive, they start scanning. This chart illustrates the massive discrepancy between human and feline hearing. While your hearing tops out at around 20,000 hertz, a cat's auditory threshold extends all the way up to 64,000 hertz. While you are completely oblivious, they are picking up on invisible threats that literally do not exist in your sensory world. Shifting pipes behind the drywall, a raccoon in the yard 2 houses over, the click of appliances. They hear all of it. A study published in the journal Animal Cognition found that a cat's brain is never fully off. Even while resting next to you, they are constantly processing and distinguishing between familiar and unfamiliar noises. When they register a perceived threat, their biological reaction is not to run and hide. They seek the safest, most familiar elevated surface available to assess the room. When your cat suddenly stands on your chest staring at the door, they have turned the warmest, most trusted vantage point in the room into a defensive watchtower. Beyond security, your cat is also managing strict physiological demands. A cat's resting body temperature sits between 38 and 39 degrees Celsius, which is significantly higher than yours. Because they run so hot, they burn through body heat rapidly. When the sun goes down and the house cools off, they are forced to seek out external heat sources to maintain their core temperature. This thermal map shows exactly what they are doing during that slow, deliberate pacing routine. Their paw pads are acting as thermal sensors, comparing temperatures across different zones of your body. This is why they reliably bypass your legs or feet. They run the thermal map until they find and lock onto your chest or lap, the exact zones where your human core generates the most concentrated heat. Then there is the issue of time. Cats are crepuscular. Their bodies are biologically wired to hit peak energy and alertness right at dawn, entirely out of sync with your sleep cycle. Researchers at the University of Zurich discovered that cats possess shockingly accurate internal clocks. They can anticipate daily feeding routines, sometimes down to a precise 15-minute window. A paw to the face at 5 a.m. is a highly calculated, biologically timed campaign to extract resources from an understimulated environment. There is also a chemical reality to the bedroom. Cats possess invisible scent glands located deep inside their paw pads. Every day you shower, go to work, and interact with the outside world. By the time you get back into bed, you have effectively erased your cat's proprietary scent from the night before. This cross-section demonstrates the mandatory biological reset that takes place at night. With every step they take across your body, they are physically pressing chemical markers of ownership back into your skin and blankets. A study from the University of Lincoln noted that this specific marking behavior becomes urgent, increasing significantly in multi-pet households where there is active competition. Your cat is aggressively renewing the territorial lease on their most valuable survival asset. We have established the cold mechanics of how a cat operates as a calculating survivor and biological opportunist. But beneath the thermal mapping and the territorial marking, there is a much deeper emotional layer to that 3 a.m. visit. You will often feel them start this slow, rhythmic pushing with their paws into your stomach or chest, a behavior commonly called making biscuits. The biological root of this action goes all the way back to their birth. Kneading is a retained instinctual memory for kittenhood, originally used to stimulate milk flow from their mother's belly. It triggers at night on top of you because of the specific environment you create. The combination of your deep warmth, your rhythmic breathing, and your steady heartbeat perfectly simulates the safest place they have ever known. That heavy presence on your chest represents the highest emotional compliment an apex predator can give. In that moment, in the dark, you feel exactly like their mother.